What you see here is Ted's Tumbler version 3 with some of our alpacas posing behind it. They don't have it running yet or plugged in. I just wanted to grab the camera while the alpacas were there. We'll get it running here in a second. One thing I want to mention, if I can talk over the guineas in the background, is when you haul a tumbler outside the tumble fleece, you want to have it level end to end, otherwise the fleece will all bunch up in one end. Doesn't matter if it's tipped sideways, which it is now, but you want to have it level end to end. It's nice to pull it outside to tumble your fleece because there's a lot of dirt coming out of there. If you do it in a barn or garage or anywhere, you're going to have a mess to clean up when you're done. Outside, you can let the wind take care of it. And the windier the day, the better. I want to walk up here and give you just a quick look at the latch here on the panels. It just latches like that. This is a brand new one I built. They'll loosen up a little bit with use, where the hole can be honed out a little bit, make it a little bit looser. And there's a handle on this end for lifting the panel out there. All 6 panels are removable, and I've got another batch of 1/2-inch panels. These are a 1-inch grid here, and you can switch freely between 1-inch grids and 1/2-inch grids or any mixture in between to get the amount of cleaning that you need. Much more convenient than having one door to open and not being able to change grid sizes. We'll get it loaded up now and show it in operation. Okay, what you see here is a bag of fleece. I'm telling you this before I walk over there and do it because I don't have a microphone to take with me and my voice doesn't carry far. I'm going to walk over there, take a panel out, dump a load of fleece in, and start it up, and you'll get to watch a little bit of operation and see how smooth it operates. Excuse me for being in the scene. I didn't dress for the occasion. I'm a retired farmer. I can just dress however I please and any day I want. You can see a good tumbling action in there. There are 3 sets of fingers in there to help pick it apart. They're mounted in there asymmetrically. There are 3 bars. The fingers mounted. Each bar has 5 fingers, and they're set offset from each other a little bit just to improve the finger action. I'll go over now and I'll stop it. I'm assuming that we've tumbled like for 15 minutes or so. I want to rotate it in the opposite direction for 15 minutes or so, so I'll go over, stop it, and change directions. Now, I don't know if that helps a lot or not. A lot of people say it's better to tumble it in 2 directions. That improves the cleaning. You can see some scrap seconds coming out there on the ground. This fleece, by the way, was clean. This is a new tumbler I built for a customer. I didn't want to get it dirty. We didn't have any dirty fleece to flow in there, but the cleaning efficiency of tumblers, not just mine but anybody's, is pretty well known. I didn't need to demonstrate that. And now I'll assume that we've finished the cycle and I'll walk over and stop it. And there you go, as easy as that. It doesn't matter where it stops, because any panel it stops at, you can open it. I might point out I was doing like the left-hand version of lifting out those panels. It's actually easier for a right-handed person to stand on the other side. So you might want to call it a feature. You have a left-handed operator side and a right-handed operator side. And I'll show you some of the controls in a little more close-up right now. Okay, I thought at this point I should show you the other set of screens. These are the 1/2 inch screens I've got set there leaning up against the fence and the weeds. I'm not a show for them exactly. We're too old and tired to be keeping the place that well, but we can't afford to pay someone to do it either, so things get a little out of control here. Down here, you'll see on this version, I've got casters. Those wheels are about 8.5 inches in diameter, mounted on heavy, what are those, 1.5 inch by 2 inch tubing, 1/8 inch thick, very sturdy. And they pulled over rough ground. Those are flat-free tires. They're soft like pneumatic tires, but you never have to worry about them going flat. Here on the inside, I talked about the asymmetric fingers. Here's one bar right here. These are 1/8 inch music wire, which is nice and springy, works pretty well. And over there, might be difficult to see in the video, these fingers you can see are offset to the right from these fingers. And then the other bar that you can't see is somewhere in between. The control panel here, if I can get my shadow out of there, is rather straightforward. A start-stop button, which are easy to access and very visible if you need to stop in a hurry. The stop button sticks out, you just punch it and it stops. And here you have a direction control, clockwise, counterclockwise. You can accidentally flip it while it's running, it won't matter, or just keep running in the same direction until you stop it and start it again. I have belt guards on here. Shouldn't be too bad if you get your finger caught in there. I'm not going to say it's okay, but because it's a bi-directional machine, it has 2 tension arms, which you can see the blue wheels on them down there maybe, which means that there's slack on both sides. If you get your finger under that belt, what's going to happen is the tension arm will yield. Your finger's not going to get chopped off. You'll probably yell ouch and pull your finger out and pull the belt off the pulley. So I don't think it's too dangerous even without belt guards, but I've got belt guards on both sides to keep fingers from accidentally getting into the mechanism. Another guard down here, this green guard here, it not only keeps your fingers out of the drive pulley, but when debris is coming down out of the tumbler here and it's windy, well, it keeps debris from blowing onto that drive pulley and getting, keeps the fiber from winding up on the drive pulley, which is a problem on the first prototype I built. Shouldn't be a problem in this one. You can see on the back here, these wheels aren't on casters. These are on straight axle. You wouldn't want casters on both ends, but they're the same size, same flat-free design. And here you can see the pulley that I fashioned for this. It basically operates like a dryer. Those are the tensioners down there that was talked about. They're designed for one of the upper scale reversible dryers. And I used them for this, except that I replaced the tension arms with heavier duty 1/8 inch by 1 inch steel and make my own tension arms to make sure that they don't flex. One nice feature, I think, On this one, in the past, I've made them with a cover to get in there and maintain the belt tensions. You would have to undo some screws and take the panel off. This cover is held down by magnets. You just lift one of these tabs, lift it up, and there's a magnet holds it up. And you can get in there. You can see the first set of reduction there. There's a 3-inch pulley and a 5-inch pulley. So the first set of reduction is in there, and that belt you can snug up if you need to. You don't have to remove any screws to get access to it, although you do have to remove a few screws to slide the motor over to tighten the belt. I've made access in here to grease fittings on the pillow butt bearings, so they can be greased periodically, and of course these are very accessible and can be greased rather readily. Well, now that I've showed the basic features of the tumbler, there are a couple items that I forgot to mention that I'll show you after I close this. The frame on this, you can see, is rather sturdy because I anticipate it being dragged around rough yards and driveways. It's all 1.5-inch square 16 gauge tubing, which when you weld it up in a structure like that gets pretty darn rigid. The plywood ends on this, I'd like to add, they're coated on both sides with 4 coats of Minwax spar urethane, which looks pretty good and holds up pretty well. And I'd be darned when I look at this, I think I'd like to put that in the living room as a centerpiece, but we don't really have room for it. Got a lot of other clutter in our living room that doesn't look as good as this does. But if you're interested in this tumbler, you can go to www.glacialridgefarm.com. I'll be uploading a new user guide for this. I provide a pretty well-documented user guide showing all the features and any maintenance that might need to be done, and sources for replacement parts like drive belts. I mean, I can always provide them, but sometimes it's quicker to go to an online source. But if you go to www.glacialridgefarm.com, you'll find links to a page describing this tumbler. I hope you enjoyed it, and I apologize for imposing myself in the video, but I just had to do it to show you some of the features. Thank you for viewing. And oops, one little postscript here. I know I was forgetting something. You know, I told you about the casters and the wheels on the back. If you're not going to be doing any portability with it, if you just want a fixed installation, you'll see there that there are feet up front, and there are feet back here. You can just pull the wheels off, take the casters off, pull these wheels off, pull the axle out if you want. Use the axles, the wheels, and the casters for some other project if you want, or some other use. They're pretty expensive, so you might find a good use for them elsewhere, and you can set this up as a stationary unit that way. Okay, thanks again for viewing.